So, Stephen Belcher, I'm here at the PGRO Trials Day out at Dyson Farms. So, PGRO looks at intercropping in a slightly different way to most. Most people look at intercropping in terms of how can the pulse crop, i.e. the peas or beans, benefit the cereal crop, for example. PGRO kind of look at it from a different point of view, and as to how the intercrop can benefit the pulse crop. So in the case of peas, we decided to look at oats, and we chose oats because it retains the cereal break. So oats from the point of view of keeping peas standing, and over the years that we've found it does keep peas standing, not necessarily fully, but it also adds to the bulk and volume of material to harvest and does aid with the harvesting process. In the case of beans, this was something that Andy Howard was looking at, and we followed up on that, and it does help with disease reduction because you introduce a barrier that can stop the disease moving around within the crop. We've kept all our pulse crops at their usual typical target populations, so peas at around 70 plants per square metre and beans around 50 plants per square metre. But we've added to that various ratios of, for example, oats. And at the moment we're finding a numbers of plants per square metre of oats to be around about 70 plants per square metre with peas works well. And in case of beans, around about 80 plants per square metre. The important thing is you don't have too many oats within the intercrop. Oats can grow very vigorously, and they can all quickly swamp out the peas or beans within the intercrop. So one of the things with intercropping is finding compatible crop protection products that are suitable for both, and indeed it is difficult to find those. So most of the trials work that we've done has been without any crop inputs. Now that's not because we wanted to grow them organically, it's just to see what happens if you don't put a herbicide on, for example, and what is the weed control issues. Intercropping does help reduce weed numbers down, as it does insect numbers. We found that, and we've also found disease reductions as well. So one of the mixtures that we've been looking at trying is both peas and beans together at 70 plants per square metre of peas and 50 plants per square metre of beans. Now, what that means is the crop protection products for both peas and beans are very similar. So if you're growing non-organically or you're growing with reduced inputs, at least you have crop protection products that you can put onto each of those. Of course, at the end of the day, separation is an issue. So if you're trying to separate peas or beans from oats, that's relatively simple. But if you're to try and separate peas and beans, that becomes a lot more difficult. It's very easy to get a very rough and crude separation initially, but trying to get a fine extraction becomes a bit more difficult. Of course, that's if you need to separate them, and if you're using on farm as a straight feed, then you can use peas and beans together, and you can use peas or beans and oats together as well.